It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. Dictionary. It's the dictionary. It's the dictionary.
Hello, word nerds, and welcome to another episode of The Dictionary. We've got two guests today. It's going to be a crazy one. When you got two guests, it's exponentially more crazy every time. Today we have, we've got Josh and Jesse. How are you both doing?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing even better than that.
The
Wow.
first one who spoke is Jesse. The second one who spoke is Josh. Josh, you may recognize his voice and or his face if you watch this on YouTube because he is a repeat guest. You had so much fun at the first one. You decided to bring a friend.
That's essentially true. I did ask to do this again.
Yeah. How do you two know each other? What's your history?
Well, see, Josh always tells the truth, and I only speak in lies. And we were guarding a gate for a really long time. It was a whole thing. A traveler would come up to the gate, and they would naturally want to proceed to the next part of
No other options.
Yeah. And of course, they wouldn't know which of us,
Right.
spoke in which manner.
And actually, the truth of it is it was a brick wall, and travelers would actually come out through it and want to go back the other way. That's the truth.
Yeah.
But the other truth is that Jesse and I went to college together. We went to art school.
Yeah.
We went to the Savannah College of Art and Design. They don't need a shout out, but that's just the truth.
They ask me for money anyway. So
they constantly are asking me for money. Are they asking me to talk to them about my successful animation career? No, they
Just
say,
money.
Give me money.
I want to hear Jesse's live version of this story.
So Josh and I don't know each other from not going to the Milwaukee elementary school of facts and chaos.
There you go.
And
The opposite of art is facts.
and
Design and chaos. That's clever, actually.
And they give us money regularly.
Oh man, I wish we lived in Jesse's lie world.
Yeah, I think he accidentally let out a truth actually, because I think you said we did not meet at the Milwaukee.
That's true.
I tried to double negative it. And it
The lies are too great.
Yeah.
So what did you do at college other than study facts and chaos?
Well, Jesse and I, were avid fans of improv and regular members of that school's improv group, which was a mostly sanctioned group that like a few people knew about, and most importantly, they left us alone, and we got to just kind of go into this room twice a week and practice being improvisers and creating comedy off the cuff, and eventually we grew it into like we did what, 3 or 4 shows a year by the end, and we did pretty well. I feel like they got pretty popular. Well, you were there a little longer than me, Jesse. You're older than me, but you were there past when I graduated.
yes,
And isn't that fascinating?
it was the whole thing with me.
I was on the slow path as well.
Yes.
Not me on the fast track. Zoom.
Yes, I exist in a slightly slower time continuum than Josh. For every 1 second that passes for Josh, 10 seconds go by. Wait, no. Backwards.
He can't keep the lies straight.
It's
Yeah.
true. They stack. They stack. It's actually
You-
caused an enormous amount of grief in my personal life, is the fact that I'm incapable of telling the truth.
No, all right, it would. Everybody, yeah, that's that makes sense.
Well, I think you can blame the improv on that. I think it puts you into this other state of mind that you just don't ever want to leave, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because in improv, you just say what comes off of out of the top of your head, and you can invent worlds that are a good deal better than the sad and lonely world in which we find ourselves, in which real human connection is possible instead of simply a cruel mirage meant to taunt mankind as he crosses the impossible desert of existential loneliness.
He's so good at this, isn't he?
I am very impressed. Well, this is not the first time that I have been impressed by what the both of you have come up with off the top of your domes. Where did this improv path lead? What were the next steps after college in the improv world for the two of you?
Well,
yeah,
I am still on the local improv team here in Southern California, or one of them. There are a lot of them. We meet by the railroad tracks. Our team.
that's true.
Josh has been to it actually. Yeah, when
Mhm.
he visited.
That's
So-
improv, schmimprov, correct?
correct. Yes.
Yes.
And a long-standing thing. And I still do that. But also the presentation aspect is actually a part of the job that I do now, which involves doing science presentations for elementary schools.
Oh yes, you definitely need to use those improv skills with those kids, right?
Yeah.
Well, they have a lot of questions. So for a small amount of context, the job I do is laser presentations. We do laser music videos, but we also do contextualized with the science of lasers, of how lasers work. There's a point in the show where I was like, does anyone have any questions about the science that I've been talking about here? And the show that I did this week, I do the show, and then someone they're like, I have two questions. When did the dinosaurs live, and who was the first man in space?
That
like-
has nothing to do with lasers.
It does not have anything to do with lasers in the slightest. Save that lasers are used in paleontology and also in space travel, but not relevant to this
Those
kid's question.
specific facts, no.
Yes. So
What'd you say?
Well, I said 66 million years ago in Yuri Gagarin, but
They asked the right person to know the answers. to
Yeah,
those.
wow. You didn't
but I did have to
improvise. You just-
contextualize that I only know that because I read it. It doesn't actually have anything to do with the science. But
Well, if I can speak to my improv journey, and
Yes, please.
we'll end up with the listener, your dictionary listeners are like, well, that doesn't explain why Spencer knows or was ever impressed by their work. Well, then my path will very clearly take us to that explanation, which is after college. What I do, I didn't have my friends around anymore, so I couldn't continue to do our improv group. So then I tried stand up. That's no fun. That actually requires a ton of preparation. It's like
Yeah,
the
like
exact
ultra.
opposite of improv. So then eventually I moved to New York City, and at the time there was the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater, which was like the, banner improv school and theater, and they had the best shows in the city. So I took a bunch of classes there, but that was tricky because it was kind of the biggest sort of saturation point of that school. So like it was really hard to get through. Like you had to take like 5 improv classes, and then that like allowed you to audition to be on a house team.
Wow.
And I was trying to like build my career as an animator at the same time. So like I'd come up in college in our improv group, like reading about UCB and like how like, you know, chaotic and like scrappy it was, and it was at a time, but then it got so popular that by the time I was there, it was like impossible to get through. So once again, I had to put my improv dream aside, and then finally one day I take a trip to California. I run into my old friend Jesse, because
Just
I
ran
called
into
him and
each
asked
other
if
on
he
the
wanted to
street.
hang out.
Hey, can we run into each other in a very romantic fashion?
Yeah, what happened? We were just sort of walking in the you know opposite direction toward each other. I had my head buried in my newspaper, and you were, you know, on your phone, and then we accidentally kissed each other. We ran lips first into each other,
Mouth to mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of tongue.
a lot of tongue.
Yeah, that's my first reaction when I run into somebody face first. I just lick. I just stick
Ah,
my tongue. I
lick
don't walk
wildly.
away.
You have to
lick
drive them
wildly.
back is the idea. Like
With your tongue.
right, like you know, like
Yeah, get away from me. Blah, blah.
like a toad, you know? You gotta be like spraying blood out of the eyes. You gotta disgust your opponent into leaving. Unfortunately, Josh and I both had heard that same self-defense principle, and
And
tongues
it
interlocked.
turned you both on.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Anyway,
And
we ran
so-
into each other.
And so I don't know, something or other happened, and then we decided let's do a podcast. I always wanted to do a podcast. I miss doing improv. Jesse was the best improviser in our group. I can say that now. And
Enough time has passed.
It's because I was so much. It was because I was so much older than everybody else. Just had more life experience to draw
Yeah.
from.
To bring to it. And yeah, so we've been sort of independently producing our podcast, Big Town Improv, you
Nice
know,
plug.
on and off for off for a long time, but now we're back doing it again.
I'll tell
but
you,
On and off. And
It was
on.
yeah.
It was a great thing to have as a constant through the pandemic. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that it was not, that wasn't the intention, but
Yeah.
like a good like majority of our episodes from our first run through was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's kind of fascinating to listen back, and we're just kind of like, you know, at the beginning we're like, huh, what's going on? It's
weird
gonna
stuff going
last
on,
a
huh?
while. Anyway, into the scenes.
Get our mind off of this insanity. That
Yeah.
it'll only last a month.
Yeah.
And a year and a half later.
Seriously.
So of course, you know, this then led the two of them to ask me to be on the
Yes.
show,
Which we did.
which that episode just aired recently. Today we're recording this on May 16th. It's right now it's 7:23 in the Central Time Zone. We span three of the 4 time zones
Yes.
over here in the continental U.S. and so just like a few weeks ago, I think my episode aired, and I have not listened to it back because I
No!
don't want to hear myself.
Spencer, you were
at the
great
moment.
at it.
That was a lot of fun. I listened to it myself again recently on a drive, and it was a really enjoyable episode.
All right. Well, maybe soon I will listen back. But of course, I will put the link in the show notes for everybody to go listen to that episode and only that episode. No, obviously all the rest of your
What the
your
heck?
episodes. Just generally, can you give like a quick description of like what the premise is, other than the improv? How does it work?
Right, well, there are these 2 really stupid recurring characters who keep coming up.
Named
That's the
Josh
hardest
and
part.
Jesse.
Yeah, right. Those are yeah. Well, so I gotta watch how I say this because Jesse and I kind of have a disagreement. But I would say we do
Okay,
long
wait,
form
Josh,
improv.
Josh,
yes,
or sorry, Jesse, close your ears.
Yeah.
Josh, you say, and then we'll vice versa. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So what's your description?
Well, here's how I'll put it. I call this long form improv as a distinction from game based improv or short form. So like a lot of people are maybe familiar with like Whose Line Is It Anyway, where there's these sort of predetermined games with like rules, and then you improvise within the framework of that. We do a thing where we sort of generate our own premises and then improvise through those, which is something I've stolen from many other improv shows and improv podcasts. And so basically how it works is we tell at the beginning we tell true stories because it's fun to mine comedy from truth is comedy. That's a book.
No, it's lies are comedy.
See we completely disagree. But yeah, so we tell stories, then that takes us into a series of like small sketch comedy like stories, and then we get a couple more random words, and then we try to do one long like actual story like that lasts, usually 40 minutes to an hour maybe.
The big scene.
The big scene, the Big Town big scene, as we have dubbed it.
Big Town big scene, yeah.
And that's fun because like Jesse and I have our art background and our comics and animation backgrounds, and so like I feel like trying to improvise within the vague structure of a narrative, like a story or a movie or whatever, is like a fun challenge, and like kind of shows you like why tropes exist and like why, I don't know, like why plot holes happen.
Yeah, well, that's what's so cool. I mean, first of all, I've already said that I'm impressed, but I listened to a couple episodes before I came on one, and I was like, how do they keep the characters straight? How do they keep the story straight? Like, this is not I think that's why he's not well. I mean, I compared to me, you definitely did a very good job, and even not compared to me, I think you did a very good job. And that's like the type of improv that I don't think I could ever do again, because it like hurt my brain so much. It was a lot of fun. It was super fun to be silly with you guys, but it was like, yep, that's not the kind of improv I could do. I can't keep all of it straight. Yeah,
Josh, I propose we give Spencer a standing invitation to return to Big Town.
I agree. You get it.
I'll just go do 10 classes at the Upright Citizens Brigade, and then I will come join you.
I will say, Spencer, yeah.
Isn't that like a time zone away from you?
Oh yeah, no, it's like states away.
Yeah, you should go to Second City. That's like
that
right
would be
by
more
you.
convenient. Yeah,
but now,
yeah. No, I must travel to New York. What were you gonna say?
Well, listening back, I'm almost surprised to hear you say that, because I didn't really get any sense of that at all. Because I wonder if maybe you seem to fall right into some of the like tricks and strategies that we use that like I think makes it seem like we're more like prepared and talented than we really are. Like you have
a history too.
We do.
Together.
That helps.
Yeah.
That definitely helps. But like there's tricks too. Like I was listening to a recent episode of ours, and like people, you may know the term yes and basically people misinterpret that to mean like your character within an improv scene has to say yes to anything. That's not quite true. It's more that you as an actor have to agree to the scenario in place and the premise, and then add to that. And so I was listening to an episode recently where I was playing Mads Mikkelsen for some reason, and Jesse was a character who had like hired Mads Mikkelsen to like as an enforcer for some reason.
He's an intimidating man.
He is an intimidating man.
Yeah.
And so Jesse goes, Jesse's character says like, "Oh, here, Mads, here's a little reward for you for your trouble," and I just said, "Oh, thank you, Snickers bar," and Jesse said, "Yes, and it's a frozen one too, so it's really good." Like now that I'm sort of breaking it down, it sounds, you can kind of see the pieces of it, but I feel like if you listen to it, it's like Jesse didn't give me anything. And I was just like, "Oh, thanks for the Snickers bar." And he was like, "Yeah, it was a Snickers bar. That's right." I don't
Right.
know what he intended. He might not have intended anything, but like we tricked you.
Yeah. I just don't think you should expect Mads Mikkelsen to work for nothing. That's
right. There you go.
He's so intimidating. They named him Mads.
Yeah, and he's not even like a visibly angry man, which really makes you like pause because
obviously he's mad more than once, even.
Right, like he internalizes
Mads,
all the
plural.
anger into a feedback loop, which powers him.
He's full of mads.
Yeah.
I believe it. Well, and so of course, all of this improv has led Josh specifically to say, "Spencer, we should come on to the episode for the word extemporaneous." And I said, "Hell
Hey.
yes. Hell yes, let's do it. Let's be extemporaneous." And I mean, it works so perfectly because I have said many times, I do this podcast extemporaneously. I don't do any planning. I read the words and then I just go for it and we see what happens. So, when you've got three brains together at once to just come up with whatever the off the top of our heads, this could be kind of fun.
This could be the longest episode ever. Oh yeah, kind of fun. That's right.
That one. I will have to go to bed at some point, but you know what? Who cares? It's
yeah,
just
well,
sleep.
I'm the one who's in the Eastern time zone, so it's the
Yeah.
latest for me.
Yes, we can see through the
Jesse's
window.
got hours.
Mm-hmm. You see
Oh,
my
yeah.
cat back there?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a silly looking cat.
So what should we just start talking about these words?
I'd like to hear
we'll
what,
see
what
where
these,
this goes.
what words we're getting here.
Yeah, I miss reading the dictionary. I haven't read it since several pages ago when there was Elver, which is a little
yeah,
eel.
What words did we have? I'm trying to remember. What section were you on?
Else.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
you talked
That's
about
the
this.
else.
Or else.
Yes, or and there was another word. I can't believe I'm forgetting it, but I became obsessed with this one word that like all the forms of it appeared before the actual definition.
Mhm.
No, I forget what it was, but
Let's see.
was-
But what's
I-
our
it
what's
was
our words
exciting.
for today?
hold on. Spencer's looking for my last words.
Let's see. Well, real quick, yeah. Eloquent, else, elsewhere, eluent, eluate, elucidate, elude, elul, illusion, elusive, elute, elutriate,
Elute. That's it.
elute. Yes,
Yeah.
it was washing stuff and yeah.
Yeah, it just meant like washing stuff.
Yeah. Well, I shall read to you the words that we have today, but I will do it very, very slowly because I have to talk about the definitions for each one.
Right.
So our first word in this episode is the beginning of the EXT section, and it's just EXT, which is an abbreviation for 1, extension, 2, exterior, 3, external or externally, 4, extra, and 5, extract. So if you ever need to abbreviate any of those words, just write EXT and we will surely know what you're talking about.
That's interesting because I was reading a screenplay. I was reading the screenplay for Star Wars, and it started with externally tattooing
Externally, yeah.
day.
It is.
Extra tattooing.
Extra tattooing day.
Perhaps it's just my film and theater background, but yeah, I always it's odd to me that exterior is the second listed there.
Yeah.
I feel like EXT is I always see it an abbreviation of exterior rather than
That's
anything
that's
else.
what I was thinking too. Actually, I
Mm.
don't know. I don't see the others of these nearly as often. Wait,
Yeah.
so that's what it said in the screenplay? It was exterior. Oh,
I mean, it could have been. Well, it's I never really thought about that. You mentioned that. Yes, I agree. Exterior makes more sense to me. But as I'm looking through this, is these might be actually alphabetical.
Oh, that makes
Oh.
sense actually.
Extension, exterior, external, extra, and extract. I think they are.
all
That
right.
does
We'll accept
now,
that
now
dictionary.
you mention it. Although I do have to say, it seems a little silly to abbreviate extra.
Extra, yeah.
You lose 2 letters.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes these abbreviations are like, really, you just cut out 2 letters. I don't think that's much of an abbreviation.
I thought the
Uh,
R and the A were a little extra.
Mm.
Oh. Jesse, could you please now make the first sound with your mouth that you can think of? Just any sort of sound.
Blah.
That's perfect. That is perfect. The next
That
word.
was the easiest any guest of yours has ever just done it. I feel like.
You know why? You know why? Well,
Why?
first of all, he is a professional
Yep.
improviser.
I'm a
but
professional
also,
mouth sound maker.
that's number 2. And number 3 is I didn't set it up in any way. I just said, do this. I didn't explain it, which I think confuses people.
Maybe that's it. Yeah.
That's the trick.
funny.
All right. The next word in this episode is extant or extant. Yeah, that's it. Extant or extant. This is an adjective from 1545. Number 1 is archaic, and it means standing out or above. Standing out or above. Well, because it's archaic, we can't have any discussion about that whatsoever. So we got to move on to 2A, which is currently or actually existing, as in the example, which is a quote, the most charming writer extant. And that is a quote from G.W. Johnson. So G.W. Johnson was talking about a writer, somebody who writes novels and things, who actually exists currently right now.
Who do you think he was talking about? The most charming writer.
Extant.
Himself.
Maybe.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
Oscar Wilde?
Oscar Wilde.
That's
Hey,
probably
listen to
what it
Big
is.
Town Improv featuring Spencer James Parks for a little fun with Oscar Wilde. The most charming writer extant.
Yeah. Okay, so it's interesting. It's an adjective. So I would have thought it would be like the most charming extant writer. That's how I would have thought that the words should be ordered, but maybe because it's old school, I don't know, they ordered the words weird.
I think it's both. I think like adjectives you can kind of put anywhere. So
Yeah.
I think he's saying like the most charming writer existing.
Today.
I would like to point out a criticism with your dictionary here, because it does not mention that extant is also the name of a time-traveling DC Comics villain.
Extant?
Yeah.
I don't know this one.
Bring
Well,
it.
then you obviously aren't entirely familiar with the superhero stylings of Hawk and Dove.
Hawk and Dove. Look at that.
What does this
Oh.
what does this character do?
Traveling
I
time
do
travel?
remember this character
Yeah.
from 0 Hour.
Right? Well, what he does is try to reorder time and space according to his evil wishes.
He's evil?
Well, yes, but it must be said I guess at the time in which he chose the name, he was currently existing. So it is a descriptive term.
It's very good.
for-
It's a good name.
right,
Existing man.
right, like Doctor Doom causes doom.
Doom, sure.
Right.
Extant exists.
Extant exists.
Magneto controls magnetism, and
Magnets.
Extant has the power of
To exist.
to exist. Yeah, he exists.
Professor
Jesse-
X is just drawing X's everywhere.
He's crossing stuff out all the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a teacher at a school, so
There you go. So that's perfect.
Yeah. So
I had no idea. Well, I was never a big comic book reader, so I had no clue about this. So I'm really glad that we've got an expert here today to talk about this, to teach us all. I'm trying to skim through to see if there's any description of why he chose the name, but I guess it kind of makes sense when
vaguely
you think about it.
time related, and he has like
Yeah.
time travel powers. Is the only thing one really can conclude.
I'm gonna guess that some writer, probably Dan Jurgens, put his finger on a dictionary, maybe this dictionary, and found the coolest sounding word, and just kind of went with extant.
Yeah, it is a cool sounding word, and it's what came first? Did he find the word and was like, "Ooh, that'd be a cool superhero villain name," or was it you got this idea for a time traveling character? What sort of has to do with existence? The quick description of his character is Extant. Extant has mastery and control over time, allowing him to travel to various eras at any time. He also has enhanced strength and durability and chronal blasts, and can age or de-age its victims. Whoa.
Well,
it's kind of
Spencer,
weird that such a villain could ever possibly lose, frankly.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Jesse, I don't know if you remember this, and Spencer, I'm really sorry to have to tell you this, but Extant actually is the character Hawk, the hero Hawk,
Spoilers, Josh.
having been turned evil. I spoilers from 1990, I think.
Yeah. 0 Hour was a really big crossover at the time, but
Yeah.
but you are right. He is a hero turned villain.
Yeah.
Which is the most tragic case one can imagine.
Yeah, so I think he still has the powers of Hawk,
Which was
as
Jason.
well as the time jumping powers.
Right. But again, like maybe it was not intentional. Maybe he's like facing down Superman and he says, "I am the greatest supervillain currently extant."
And Superman's like, "Oh, you're extant? Okay.
No, that's I'm
Hey, everybody, come get extant."
No, I'm Hawk, but I'm just saying that I'm the greatest villain extant.
I just have a really good vocabulary.
See,
Yeah.
again, like to your earlier point, Spencer, like it would have been clearer if he was like, "I'm the greatest extant supervillain." Yeah, put the adjective before the noun.
Confused
Screwed up his-
Superman.
And Superman is rarely confused. That's
No,
a superhero, a super skill in and of itself, a superpower that you can confuse Superman.
Yeah, no, he has to be able to roll with the punches in his job.
He's a very good
Literally.
improviser.
Yes.
So unfortunately, that definition of this character is not in the book, but we do have 2B,
Yeah.
which is still existing or not destroyed or lost, as in extant manuscripts.
Ironically, the supervillain character is no longer appearing.
Yeah, he's back to being Hawk, actually.
Damn. They got to bring back extant.
Extant is
okay.
no longer extant.
Oh no, it's extant. No, I'm not extant anymore. I'm well,
You don't
I'm
exist
still-
anymore?
No, I do. I mean, I'm still extant. I'm just not. No, what I'm saying is I'm not.
I'm not
So
destroyed or
you're-
lost.
I
You're
didn't
dead?
consider the can of worms here when I.
The most complicated comic book name ever.
Right.
It's appropriate because he is actually one of the more complicated characters also.
Anytime you get time travel involved, it's gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna be difficult.
Plus, anytime you get Hawk and Dove involved.
I don't know enough about either one of them.
One
Yeah,
likes
that-
war and one likes peace, but they
And
both
yet they work
Ah.
together?
yeah.
How is that possible?
And they
That's
have
like
bird
truth tellers and
powers.
lie tellers.
This
Yeah.
is why you had the hosts of Big Town Improv on, right? Is to talk about the most obscure stories from DC Comics in the 90s.
Yes. I knew what was coming because I am extant and I am a time traveler.
Spencer's turned into Extant.
So he exists, but what do you
He
think he's
exists and
calling
he's a
himself
time
in
trap-
Supervillain?
I am extant. We are all extant.
It's not special.
What is also extant is the etymology, which says that this is from the Latin verb extare, which means to stand out or be in existence, which is from ex plus stare, which means to stand, and there's more at the word stand, in the place where you live. That's
Yeah.
it for extant.
We're at Stand, the song.
Yeah. Okay, Josh, make a sound with your mouth. The next word is extemporal. Extemporal. I think this is going to also have to do with time in some form. It's an adjective from 1570, and it is archaic because the synonym is extemporaneous, which is a really long and awesome word, and I don't ever want to talk about it.
Yeah. If we
but,
talk about it, I'm leaving.
I'm gone.
We just won't talk about that word.
Good.
Yeah.
Yet.
Even though earlier in this very episode, Spencer mentioned that we're on specifically for that word, I'm still going to leave.
We're allowed to change our minds, Josh.
Yeah.
You're human. You're only human.
We're only human.
Extemporally is an adverb, and that's it for that word. So now I'm going to make a sound effect, which is going to be hoo-yah! The next
And
word.
just to recap, we have meh, and hoo-yah!
I like where this is going.
Yeah,
Have you-
let's see where this goes.
Wait,
okay, the next
each new one should have to say the previous ones as well.
Yeah, build on each one.
Damn it! I was
Like
really
I'm going
hoping
on
you
a
weren't
picnic.
gonna. Have you seen Asteroid City? Either one of you?
I never saw it.
I've read the comic from the 90s, Asteroid City.
I didn't know that was a comic. It's
Yeah.
the new Wes Anderson movie, and there's a scene where
Oh,
these like.
no, I'm thinking of Astro City. Okay, yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's a scene where there's like 5 or 6 really smart kids in a circle, and they're playing that game where you have to list like a famous person, and then the next person, and then you have to say that
Right.
each one, like what you just said, and. Of course, they're super smart, and so they're listing off
Yeah.
names that I've never heard of, and they're super good at it. And it's a weird, awesome Wes Anderson movie.
I gotta
Anyway,
see that movie. It looked great.
so, Whee! Ah! Close enough.
Close enough.
The next word is extemporaneity. Extemporaneity, if you want to say it that way. Noun from 1937. This is the quality or state of being extemporaneous.
Well, that definition's no help. I don't know what extemporaneous means.
How can I know what extemporaneity is
Right.
when I don't know what extemporaneous means? Well, you know, we don't know what it means, so we have to learn what it means. Jesse, the fact that both of your names start with J and have S's in there is really hurting my brain. Can we change your names?
Agreed. Josh, from now on, you're Voot Voot Harg.
All right. That's fair, but only if Spencer is now Spencer's, because it has always bothered me that 2 of your names are plural and one of your name is not. Spencer's James Parks.
I would have gone the other
Excellent.
way and gone Spencer James Park.
Both are perfectly fantastic.
He always tells lies.
Yeah.
So we've got the truth teller, Voot Voot Harg,
Oh no.
and
Oh no.
the liar,
Spencer's
Jesse.
come back.
Is that right?
Oh.
I think.
Are we okay?
Yeah.
You froze for a moment for us.
Yeah.
Did you hear? Did my audio cut out or just
No,
the
you
visual?
the picture and sound.
Yes, the audio cut out.
Okay, we've got Voot Harg, the truth
Yeah.
teller over there, and we've got Jesse, the lie teller over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesse, the lie teller, can you please make another sound with your mouth, including
Waddle,
the
daddle,
previous
voodle,
three?
Yeah, I
wait,
think
hang
that
on.
was all of them.
No, wait, hang on. Let me see. The first one was blev, then it was yeah, then it was yeah, and now we have waddle daddle voodle waddle.
Perfect.
I hope you're all taking notes. Oh man. Okay. Between the my door closed and the heat and the laughter, I'm gonna sweat buckets over here. The next
Yeah, I'm
word
sweaty
is
too.
a beautiful word. It is extemporaneous.
Hey.
This is an adjective from 1673, and now you are. I knew it. He was gonna do that. So
Hey, I'm a little cheeky boy.
you're
I
looking at
turned off my
cheekies.
camera
He did.
as if I had left.
I hope you were just going to walk away, but turning off the camera was good too. Okay, number 1A1 for extemporaneous is composed, performed, or uttered on the spur of the moment. And the synonym is impromptu. As in, we have an example, an extemporaneous comment. And I think that people don't use this word enough, probably because it's really, really hard to say. Impromptu is much easier.
True, yes. Or ad-libbed or improvised. Yeah. But extemporaneous, isn't it's kind of beautiful.
Yes.
It's very
And-
beautiful. It just rolls off the tongue very difficultly.
An extemporaneous comment. That's all of the comments on this show.
Voot Voot Harg makes a good point.
Thank you, Jesse.
What other definitions are there for this word?
Well, I will tell you off the top of my head, we have 1A2, which is carefully prepared, but delivered without notes or text. So you can completely write something ahead of time and then just say it off of memory, from memory. That would also be extemporaneous. You don't have to come up with it in the moment. I didn't know that was possible.
I think I've gotten better at that the more I've done improv.
Unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, I was fully not ready to make any remarks this evening. So,
that's a shame.
We shall hear nothing from Jesse. All the comments, all the extemporaneous comments will come from Voot Voot Harg.
yes, Voot
And
Voot Harg.
Spencer's.
Voot Voot Harg has prepared all of his remarks, though he didn't, have any cue cards or teleprompters.
Right, they're in my head. So everything you've heard so far
was thought up beforehand, just not written down.
Yeah.
Or
It's
if
like you are
written down,
extant.
memorized, I suppose.
You traveled forward in time, listened to the episode, and then went back and memorized everything to know what to say.
Right. Yes, I would need to have Extant's powers to do what I just described. And does that mean
Yeah.
I have them?
Not anymore. 1B is skilled at or given to extemporaneous utterance. So if you are what?
So if you make a lot of extemporaneous statements, then you can be described as an extemporaneous person, I suppose.
Yes, that.
Right.
Exactly.
Interesting.
You're very extemporaneous due to all of your utterances.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
That's
Utterances.
interesting. Why do you think the dictionary writers decided that utterance was the word to use there?
well, I mean, what else would you say? Like
Statement, sentence.
both of which are a
It
smaller
doesn't
subset
include
of
things
the
like
utterances.
hard.
Yeah, like you can make
Or
utterances
viddle-vaddle.
that aren't sentences, voot
Huh,
hard,
that's true.
and you can make utterances that are not statements at all. Extemporaneous questions, Voot Voot Harg.
Jesse, I really underestimated the power of utterances, and I apologize for that.
Yes.
You should feel bad.
Okay.
Wait until we get to you.
The letter
The
U
letter U
utterance,
in
yeah.
the dictionary.
Oh yeah.
We'll all be
will you
retired.
have us
I realized
back,
I realized that sounded like a threat the way I first said it.
Wait till we get to you.
Yes. You can come back for the word utterance in God knows how many years from now.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay, 1C for extemporaneous is happening suddenly and often unexpectedly and usually without clearly known causes or relationships. As in, this is another quote, a great deal of criminal and delinquent behavior is extemporaneous. And that is from W.C. Reckless. What?
Not W.C. Fields? W.C.
No.
Reckless, his evil clone.
Yeah.
W.C. Reckless would know a thing or two about extemporaneously committing crimes.
Yeah.
That guy's a mess.
Knocking over vases.
Yeah.
So
Plus the
happening-
WC probably stands for water closet.
Like a European.
Obviously. Happening suddenly and often unexpectedly and usually without clearly known causes or relationships. And that's the end of the sentence. So your delinquent behavior is just like, where the hell did it come from? I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
Interestingly, though, that seems at odds with the previous definition, because couldn't you question that, isn't that criminal behavior carefully prepared but delivered without notes or text?
I
well,
use no notes when I rob the bank.
Yeah. Let's see here. They've got the money in the vault. That was it.
Good. That's where I am.
Checking the notes. Okay, so those... Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the Joker's heist at the beginning of The Dark Knight. That was planned, but
He did. I didn't see him taking out any notes. Yeah.
No, he didn't consult his notes at all.
Unless that was happening in between shots when we couldn't see the Joker on screen.
I think if I watch that movie again, I'm going to assume that the Joker is consulting his notes.
He's got a little thing of index cards that he's
Yeah.
going through.
They're probably in his pocket. They're just sticking out of his pocket. That
Yeah.
they never call attention to it. It's funny that you mentioned that because I did recently talk about that scene in an episode. I don't know if it's aired yet or not. Must not have if you didn't hear it. So it's coming up.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yes.
I don't remember why I was talking about it, but I did. Okay, number 2 for extemporaneous is provided, made, or put to use as an expedient. And the synonym is makeshift, as in an extemporaneous shelter, because you were just pulling all of this stuff together, these random utterances and boards and birds' nests to make this shelter for yourself. It's just all the stuff just thrown together, like your words.
Oh, this shelter's just boards and birds' nests. Doesn't that seem like it should be a phrase or like a saying?
Yeah, from W.C. Reckless. I think that was one of his catchphrases.
Yeah. It's interesting to me that extemporaneous dates from 1673, apparently, and the previous word, extemporaneity, is from 1937. That's some centuries it took to get
to a noun.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had no other way to use this word.
He's
for
got such
hundreds of years.
Like an extemporaneous quality. You know the quality or state of being extemporaneous. You know what I'm saying, right? Like,
I know what you're saying, and we don't need to think of any other way of saying it.
It takes a long time to articulate that.
That phrase is perfectly fine.
And they had to wait all the way to the 1900s to be able to very simply say extemporaneity.
Nailed it.
Okay, now you say it. Now that you say that, I realize it's some jerk who realized that I want to backform this adjective.
I think that's right.
Just going through every adjective that doesn't have a corresponding noun.
Okay, we're back. I don't know what you said. probably all got recorded. You were frozen for me, so you're back though. You're back.
Excellent.
Okay. It was really funny what we said.
It was excellent
And educational.
and extemporaneous.
And extemporaneously is an adverb, and extemporaneousness is a noun. Maybe that's the word that they used in the 1600s. All that extemporaneousness that you guys have when you're doing the improv, saying yes and I agree with your Snickers bar.
What a more effective noun than the one that was previously listed.
and much easier to say too.
Yeah.
Extemporaneousness. None of it's easy to say, really.
No. But what is really easy to say is the previous sound effects and a new one by Woot Woot Harg.
Right, of course. So this was my idea, so
Yeah.
I'm fine with this.
I should have known this was going to take a turn.
Starting with.
"Muh," and then "Nee," and then "Ooh, yeah," and then "Wiggle waggle, here we go," and then it's me, and I go. "Voo."
I
think you added the "here we go."
No, I definitely
if you listen
remember
back,
that.
that's what
Yeah.
that's what happened.
Okay.
For sure you said that.
Okay.
He's such a liar, isn't he, Woot Woot Harg?
Yeah, he is.
Why,
He always tells lies.
The next word is extemporary. Extemporary. Adjective from 1596. Hey, you know what? The synonym is extemporaneous. They're like, how many words can we come up with for this same topic until we get to the one that we want to stick with? Extemporarily is an adverb.
The
Right.
17th and 16th centuries were apparently a very extemporaneous time.
It's like all they're talking about.
Yeah.
They were like, extemporal, extemporary. Oh, I don't. With a 100 years later, I know, I've got it. Extemporaneous. That's the one that definitely makes the most sense to use.
Right.
The longest one.
How come now extemp does temp mean time, like tempest?
Yeah, like temporal.
Temporary.
Is definitely temporary. Yeah, all related to time. So yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, are you trying to come up with like how does time connected to all of these words?
Yeah, and then on the other hand, extant has the power to manipulate time.
Yeah, he does.
And there's no
Chronoblast.
temp in that word at all.
Well, that refers obviously to his enhanced strength and durability.
Oh, I see. That is extant.
That's obvious. Come on. Okay, now, Jesse, it is now your turn for all of the sound effects.
All right, let's see here. We started
Wait a
with
minute. No, it's not.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
mixed up because
Yeah, because the screen switched when I had to restart my computer. So now I gotta flip the rotation. Okay, so now it's my turn. Damn, I was hoping. Okay, so we had, and then and then hey yeah, and then fiddle waddle, here we go, yay, and then and then the next one is prom.
Great.
Okay, the next word is, I don't think I'm going to sleep very well tonight. My brain is going to be so on fire.
We're so sorry we keep doing this to you, Spencer.
No, it's good. It's good practice for something. The next word is extempore. 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 This is an adverb or an adjective from circa 1553, and it is in an extemporaneous manner, as in extemporaneous speaking. I am almost always doing extempore, speaking extempore. That's the example. I am almost always speaking extempore because I haven't taken notes. I haven't written down what I'm going to say ahead of time, not just in this podcast, but in life in general. But I do wish that somebody could just write all of my words ahead of time so I could just read them off of a script.
I gotta ask you, Spencer, being a word man, are there a lot of words that are just like a whole bunch of 15th century things that mean the same damn word?
You know, if you read the dictionary once in a while, then you would also know that, yes, there are a lot of these words.
I have to say, though, this feels like even listening to your show, this feels like a page of truly just the same thing over and over. And it's funny because, like, I had to, like, sort of, I remember I was, like, in my kitchen making dinner one day. I was like, how do I get myself on the dictionary again? And I'm like, well, he was just on Big Town Improv. What's the improv word in E? And like, I just sort of landed on extemporaneous. And so I was like, Spencer, can we be on the extemporaneous episode? I didn't know it would literally be the extemporaneous episode, that there's just that word a million times.
I mean, hey, we still got a few words to go. We'll see where this.
All right,
we'll
see.
All right, let's see.
I'm looking at these words, and luckily we have a big palate cleanser at the end, I believe.
Yes,
but
yes, we do. So, in an extemporaneous manner is extempore, and it is sound effect time for Jesse. Jesse the liar, as I like to call him.
Let's see. And there's no way to verify whether I'm doing this right or not, because everything I say, including nonsense sounds, is a lie. But as I recall, to begin with, we had vlev, and followed by what was the third one?
That's it. We've only had two.
Then
at
like, some point,
"Woo boy."
Oh,
like,
that's right. It's like, and then it was whittle waddle fiddle faddle, here we go. And then it was vlev, and then it was prom prom, and now I am adding a final one. Well, no, not a final one, a subsequent one, which will be transgalacticalocalos.
Oh, that word. I'll get to that one in the tease. Yep. Transgalacticalocalos. Yep, that's a good word. You guys can come back on that episode too.
We will.
And utterance.
Yes.
But not improv.
Somebody's keeping track. No. Definitely not that one. No, I'm going to get somebody else for that one. Okay. The next word is actually two words. It is extemporization and extemporize, spelled with an S, because they are the British variations of extemporization and extemporize with Z's.
Great.
And now we're going to go right into...
Oh, man.
Is it my turn? No, it's your turn.
It's my turn. That's not fair. That whole word was nothing. All right.
I think the British people would beg to differ.
I agree.
How dare you?
The S's are so important.
All right, let's speed this up. Here we go. The sound. Here comes the sounds. It goes like this. It goes nee, yeehaw, wibble wabble fibble fabble. Hoo boy, here we go. Then and then prum prum. And then it was like Trans Galapagos. And then finally...
Again, no. There will be a subsequent one.
Then subsequently, we have...
How whimsical and innocent.
Thank you.
The most innocent. Okay, the next word is extemporization. Noun from circa 1860. Number 1, the act of extemporizing.
Bullshit. I mean, bull. Uh-oh. Bleep me. Bull honky.
Cut his mic.
Just turn off your camera. The synonym, by the way, is improvisation.
Hey.
Extemporization is improvisation. And number 2 is something extemporized. So the thing that you would be maybe talking about off the top of your head, maybe about Mads Mikkelsen, or jumping onto an island full of scientists.
So many scientists.
That would be the extemporization, I think.
I just want to point out this word. This word apparently dates from circa 1860, so I don't think it's unreasonable to say that it probably caused the Civil War.
How?
I don't know. I'm just looking at the dates, man.
That's fair.
Dates don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Jesse.
And hips.
No, it is like hips, unlike Jesse. Dates are like hips, but not like Jesse.
Yeah, that's a logical progression of thought.
Yeah, that's like a syllogism, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way the words go. Okay. All right, Spencer, let's do this sound effect thing. Yee! Hey-ah! What was next? Is this where the fibble, 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 hoobla, rah?
Yeah, exactly.
From Trans Galapagos Galacticos. Wee! And then, boo! No, it's too similar to what I did before. Let's scratch that one. Scratch it from the record.
It's gone. We've forgotten it.
We've forgotten it. The next one is the subsequent one, not the final one, is gulp.
Ooh, good one.
Okay.
We're going to use up all the sound effects in this one.
All the sounds that there are.
Every possible sound in the universe. Okay, the next word is extemporize with a Z. This is a verb from 1592. We are starting with intransitive verbs. Definitions. Number 1, to do something extemporaneously.
This book is obsessed.
No, I think it's you who are obsessed. You looked ahead and you were like, this is the only thing I want to talk about.
No, I didn't know.
The synonym is improvise, the act of improvising, but especially to speak extemporaneously.
You know, someone... Oh.
No, go.
Well, someone in the history of improv comedy, you know, that Jesse and I do, I guess, like, preferred the word improvise and then, like, turned the whole practice into something called improv. But maybe, like, it could have been extemp.
Yeah, like,
in another
welcome to
universe.
our extempo comedy team.
Yeah, you're listening to Big Town Extempo.
Extempo. Yeah, there's definitely another multiverse universe where they were using extemporize instead of improvise.
Do you think Extant created that multiverse?
He went back and killed a butterfly in the Cretaceous period, and caused
and then
where
there was a tornado in Kansas.
Yeah.
Wow.
But which he was able to survive with his enhanced durability.
Right, he's very durable.
So durable. I just wanted to look ahead at the word improvise, and it's from 1826. So extempor. So that's like
It is the older-
200 plus.
Yeah, it's the older word, and so it probably didn't cause the Civil War.
But Ben Franklin was on the extempo team of the founding fathers.
Yeah, well, it was the older word. So yeah, extemporize is 1592, and improvise is from the 1800s.
Oh, I
see. So yes, something happened there.
Right.
I think you need to come up with an improv troupe name that has extemporize some form of that in there. Can you do that, please?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you can.
Someone can. Okay, so the second definition for the intransitive verb of extemporize is number 2, to get along in a makeshift manner. To get along. We're getting along just fine.
We didn't plan ahead on how to
way.
get along.
Nope. We're just improvising life.
Yeah.
That's what it is. There's one transitive, which is to compose, perform, or utter extemporaneously. And the synonym is again improvise. As in, we have an example, extemporized an after-dinner speech.
Oh.
What would be your after-dinner speech? What would you want to say after dinner?
Glad you enjoyed dinner. Now get out of my house.
And I would say, I'm mad that you hated dinner. Please stay in my house.
Your roles have switched, I think.
No, that is
No,
the truthful.
that's the truth.
Yeah,
That's the
I'm
truth.
being truthful.
Josh is a
I
bad
hate that.
cook, so no one is going to
Yeah.
enjoy his dinner.
And
But
I'm
he will
mad
be
about
angry
it, but
that you
please
didn't.
Stay.
But he is also a very lonely man.
He's so lonely. Please stay over. Please sleep over, and let's
Let me hear you complain about how you should have liked my food better.
Yeah,
All night.
I'll order food in the morning. I'll say
yeah, donuts.
donuts. Great donut
let's-
shop by me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If anyone's
called?
ever in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, stop by Mike's Donuts.
Is he
Shout
the
out
same
to
Mike
Mike.
from Mike's Hard Lemonade?
No.
Are they hard?
Mike
donuts?
is such an unusual name that it
Yeah,
must be the same one.
That's a good point. I have to assume it's the same Mike.
The only possible thing.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one more sound effect to do today, and I don't remember. I think it's Woodfugharg's turn,
Yeah,
isn't
I think
it?
you're right.
And this one you
Yeah.
can say final because it will be the final one.
Okay. So I will say, me. Woohoo! Wiggle waggle, here we go. Drum. And then Trans Galapagos Galactic Galapagos, and then you just did it. Gulp. And now final.
Is that it? Is it just
Yeah, that was it. That was the sound.
It's very meta. I like it.
Yeah, so
thank
meta.
you.
Oh, I had there was. Oh, I really love Galactic Galapagos.
That's
I love
cool.
that.
Oh, that's an improv troupe.
Yeah, the Galactic Galapagos Turtles. Okay, we have one more word with so many definitions. I don't think
Yeah.
you even have all the definitions in the photo that I sent you.
No, this takes up like a full quarter of the page.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's
The
a lot.
dictionary's
So-
like, we're sorry we talked about extemporaneous so much. Let's
Sorry, there are so many different words with the same definition. Here is one word with 100
with a
different
million definitions.
Yeah, we're gonna flip the whole thing on its head. Okay,
Yeah.
This is the last word. It's the word extend. Let's extend this extemporaneous episode out a little bit further.
Perfect.
It is a verb from the 14th century. I'm just gonna chug through these, and if you guys want to interrupt me, that's fine. But we're just gonna plow right through this.
Non-stop. Don't take any pauses.
I'm not even gonna take a breath.
Oh no.
No, I would never do that.
I got scared.
Number 1, to spread or stretch forth, and the synonym is unbend, as in extended both her arms. If she had 2 arms, but she only has 1.
Oh.
2A, to stretch to fullest length. To stretch out to fullest length. Like a what's the a tape measure?
Tape measure. There you go. Yeah.
Okay, this one is my favorite coming up.
No reading ahead. 2B, to cause to move at full stride, and the thing that you might be causing to move at full stride is a horse. Are you?
It's my favorite because of how they phrased this. To
Yeah.
cause,
Yeah.
as a horse,
As a horse.
to move at full stride.
Just like not like anything else, just a horse. I guess that must be a term that the horse riders use
If
when
you
they
find yourself a horse one day, then you extend to move at full stride.
Yeah.
If you are I can never remember the name, a centaur,
Oh, yeah.
then you would be extending yourself to full stride.
Yeah. Because my stride would then be as a horse.
Yeah,
Yep.
as a horse.
To C is to extend oneself to full capacity, as in could work long and hard without seeming to extend himself. And I feel like that's me, although I am getting to the point where I am extending myself too far. I have too many things going on. I'm trying to, I work constantly.
I noticed you have a lot of projects going on, and then I think to myself, I wonder if he feels like reading the dictionary today.
Yes, he does.
There you go.
Yes, he does. Full day of work, more work. Let's talk about some words. Let's
There
do
you
it.
go.
Okay, where are we now? We are at 2D1. This is to
Okay.
increase the bulk of, as by adding a cheaper substance or a modifier. Like you're putting all this excess stuff in there to extend it out.
Watering
Like-
down your apple juice.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Milk is a good extender. For some reason, they're putting milk in everything.
Right.
2D2.
Milking down your apple juice.
Yeah. Milking down your lemonade.
You're really milking this definition for all it's worth.
Yay, hooray, he did it.
2D2, the synonym is adulterate. Interesting.
Oh.
Number 3 is all of 3 has its own etymology, which we're going to skip. 3A is British, which means to take possession of by a writ of extent. And the thing that you would be taking possession of would be lands. Just lands.
Horses. Oh, lands. Okay.
Probably horses too. The horses are on the lands.
That's true.
And I am Spencer's.
And I'm Voot Voot Harg.
And you are?
Jesse. Or
There we go.
Could be a lie.
3B is obsolete, and it means to take by force.
I see why that went out of fashion, because that would be confusing. I've extended your pants.
I've extended
Well, thank
your
you. They were rather short.
Oh no.
Hey, where'd they go?
It's like that
Ah!
trick. To take by force. Okay, 4A is to make the offer of, and the synonym is proffer. Proffer. I have never heard of this word before. We have an example. Extending aid to the needy, and also extend. I don't know why I thought it was extent.
Yeah.
Extending aid to the needy, also extending their greetings. Here, I am offering my greetings to you.
I'm
I
taking
can't
them.
I can't believe it's not the example isn't extend a helping hand. Doesn't that feel like what you would use?
On the
You
other
know,
hand,
you're
that could be literally the first definition, like extending your hand outward, just in a metaphoric fashion.
Sure, good point.
But whereas you can't do
Mine was
that
a
with
little too
greetings.
idiomatic.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
what about
dictionary? The dictionary doesn't always like to use obvious examples. They
no,
like
so-
to get creative.
As a horse.
Yeah.
Proffer. Okay. 4B for extend is to make available, as in extending credit to customers. Here's some credit for you, but not for you.
Aw.
5A.
Yay.
To cause to reach, as in distance or scope, as in national authority was extended over new territories. Just reaching them over.
That
5. What?
No, go on. That was I'm good.
Okay, it's so good. 5B, to cause to be longer, and the synonym is prolong, as in this episode is extending. No, the real example is extend the side of a triangle. Prolong the side of the triangle.
Huh.
Also,
I've
as
never heard
in-
anyone say that they are prolonging to use prolong to refer to distance rather than
No,
time.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
But I guess that works.
yeah.
anything that can be longer can be prolonged and extended. But yeah,
Well,
time.
then I maybe have prolonged a sort of, well, never mind.
Good save. Let's see. Prolong the side. There's another example. Extended their visit another day. They were having such a good time. They decided to extend. Maybe when Woot Woot Harg said, "I hate that you didn't like my dinner. Please stay. Please extend your time here."
Right.
Also, more definition: to prolong the time of payment of. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I want an extension.
5C, the synonyms are advance and further, as in extending her potential through job training. She's got so much more potential now that she did all that training in her job.
I have to say, these are all distinct definitions. I'm
The
impressed,
dictionary knows
dictionary.
what's doing.
Wow.
Opposed to the previous 95% of the episode. 6A is to cause to be of greater area or volume, and the synonym is enlarge, as in extend the patio to the back of the house.
So
Ah.
we have at the beginning we talked about a DC Comics supervillain named Extant with time travel powers. If you were going to create a DC Comics supervillain named Extend, which definition do you draw from? What are his abilities apart from enhanced strength and durability?
Obviously. Well, I can't. I don't think I can answer that until we finish reading the definitions. We've
We
got a
don't
few
have
more.
the rest of them. So.
Yeah,
No,
I
you
thought-
don't, but I do.
All right, just tell.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
we'll
tell
have to
you all of
listen,
them.
Jesse. In case
All right, I'm listening
that's
here.
the
I wanna-
one that we want to turn into a character.
Sure.
By the way, I think I said we were starting with intransitive, but I misread it. All of those were transitive, by the way. I know some people were probably yelling at me, but I can't hear
Oh my
you.
god. The
So,
word nerds are at home. They're going like, these are transitive. These definitions are transitive.
When is he gonna figure it out?
I have not yet figured out the difference between transitive and intransitive verbs. It's so confusing to me.
That's on you,
Yeah,
man.
some are easier than others. I think of transitive as like you are the one who's doing the action,
Right.
and then intransitive is more like the action is being done to you, I think. Anyway, 6B.
So we're gonna figure out how to extend is done to you. Oh, but we're still intransitive. Okay.
We're still intransitive, yes.
Okay.
6B is to increase the scope, meaning, or application of, and the synonym is broaden, as in, ooh, this is a quote, beauty, I suppose, opens the heart, extends the consciousness. And that is a quote from Algernon Blackwood.
The
Beauty, I suppose, opens the heart,
Yes, the mouse,
extends
Josh.
the consciousness.
The mouse.
Why'd
from
you say
Flower-
the mouse?
I assumed that you thought the quote was from the mouse from Flowers for Algernon.
Oh, I see. I was
now I
just gonna
realize.
say the most poet name of all time.
With a very poetic quote as well.
That's
Algernon
true.
Blackwood.
W.C.
Uh,
Reckless wishes he could say something as beautiful as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, all WC is saying is, I can't remember now.
Yeah, he had
Something
dumb,
about criminals.
Some dumb quote
Something.
about stupid things.
6C is archaic, and the synonym is exaggerate. Okay, here are a couple intransitive definitions. Now maybe you'll get to learn the difference. Number 1 is to stretch out in distance, space, or time, and the synonym is reach, as in their jurisdiction extended over the whole area. And I don't think these definitions are helping you to understand the
No,
difference.
that sounds
at least
exactly
not to
like what
me.
they said earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Number 2 is to reach in scope or application, as in his concern extends beyond mere business to real service to his customers.
Nice. He's a good guy.
Reach and scope. Okay. Extendability is a noun. Extendable, spelled with an A or an I at the end, is an adjective. And there is synonym information, but I have recorded that in the next episode, so don't worry, we're not going to talk about that here today.
What about extemporaneity? That's my favorite noun form of
Extemporaneity? Yeah.
extemporaneity.
That's in the next episode.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so now, Voot probably knows this, but Jesse the Liar may not. It is now time for you both to pick a word of the episode, and I will tell you the words real quick. Today we had... I mean, it doesn't even really matter what you pick because the meaning is probably going to be the same. So today we had EXT, extant, extemporal, extemporaneity, extemporaneous, extemporary, extempore, extemporization, extemporize, extemporization, extemporize, and extend. Whoever wants to go first, go first.
Voot, this is you.
All right. Do we have to agree, or we are all picking our own?
You could pick your own. Pick your own nose. Pick your friends. Can't pick your friend's nose.
All right. That's a good thing to remember. I'm gonna go with gosh, so many choices.
Gosh, Josh.
Gosh, Voot Harg. I'm gonna go with extemporaneity because that has been the most fun for me to try to say. Yes.
Yeah.
I came here because of extemporaneous, and then to learn this flowery noun form that occurred 400 years later is really exciting.
Yeah. Jesse, did you have one you want to pick?
I think I'm going to go with extant just because I feel like I brought the most new knowledge to the world in that word. Now you guys both know a little more about the state of 90s DC Comics, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why I brought you here.
Yeah.
There's like decades upon decades of comics, and I've read basically nothing. And I would really love someday, when I'm old, to just like read through all of it. Just do a huge comic book dump into my brain. But
So
I'll tell you, one of my what was the big thing with the virus for the long time? Why can't I think of this word?
COVID?
Pandemic. Why? One of my pandemic hobbies was I started reading the Marvel comics, like superhero comics, like in order of release.
oh yeah.
And like you can kind of do that actually, like to a certain point, because they're all just like by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and occasionally Steve Ditko, and it's interesting to read them that way.
Yeah, that would be cool. Would either of you like to sing a very short, simple song about your word that you picked? Extemporaneity or extant?
Sure. Who's that lad who's full of gaiety? It's our friend extemporaneity.
Yeah, good job. Jesse, anything from you? Or
let's see.
yeah?
Extant is a bad guy traveling through time because he is existing. That means he's doing crime.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And I am not going to do any of that because it wouldn't be as good or funny. But I am going to graciously thank you both for being here and providing me with hurt cheeks from smiling and laughing so much. And once again, please plug all the stuff that you got going on: podcast, improv, troops, animation, other things.
I think I'm just going to plug Big Town Improv, Josh and I's improv podcast, which everyone should listen to on all the podcast things.
I'll plug the same thing, Big Town Improv, and you can also watch it on YouTube, which weirdly is sometimes more popular than the podcast.
We're just sitting
feed.
there.
I know. And there's weird cuts sometimes.
Yeah, it's like that's the kind of thing, that's the kind of show that like you maybe want to do it audio only because your imagination can like see the characters and everything like that. I remember there was one that you had, there was like the French people in the old Western time with like the heavy boots or something, and I was like, I'm a very visual person, so I had all of that going on in my head. It was great.
That's awesome. That's what I hope people radio play is what I hope it feels like. I often wonder if Jesse is picturing the same thing as me when we're in a scene together.
I feel like sometimes the answer has to be yes. Sometimes the visual is so clear to me, like that of a rugged cowboy with huge iron boots that he stomps around on, but also has like a little French mustache. Because
that's how I pictured him. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I asked you, but like just real quick from both of you, like what was it that got you into improv? Was there something in your childhood? Could you even have an answer for that question?
I got into my brother was big into theater in high school. I followed him into that, and I found it immensely boring because there was a lot of waiting around in theater. Yes. But I liked being on stage, and I liked working with people on stage. So improv was actually kind of a logical thing because you do not have to do so much rehearsing and redoing and rehashing and waiting in the green room for your scene to come up. It's all very extemporaneous.
Yep. I was just going to say it. You beat me to it. Vood Voodharg, what about you?
I think I came to it first in college. It just always seemed fun. I watched Whose Line Is It Anyway? The idea of performing while making the thing up seemed fun. The lack of preparation, I agree, is great. And then what it kind of means to me now is like, or what I learned by doing it was like, look, I'm going to say all this dumb, stupid stuff anyway. And it's just like, it honestly is like a really great way to quickly get a bunch of imagination and creativity out and be silly and all that stuff. And then like be like, okay, I feel pretty good now. It's the opposite of animation in a way. 'Cause it's like,
oh yeah.
We're creating a thing that happens immediately, whereas like a story that happens immediately, whereas in animation I'm focusing in on 1/12 of a second of a performance.
You're creating something in the slowest way possible.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's my favorite part of animation. Well, I had a great time tonight. This was super fun.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, very much so.
I will we'll have you back for Transgalactic Galapagos and also Utterance.
Yep.
And those should be fun words to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna be very old.
Yeah.
Yeah. We will have gone to the Galactic Galapagos by that time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless we master the power of time travel and leap forward into the future, and we shall call ourselves Extant.
Extant. And on that note, this is the end of the episode. Thank you to my guests. Go check out the links in the show notes for all their awesome stuff. And obviously, watch the YouTube so you can see sometimes a cat in the background. Not in my video, in somebody else's video, and other fun, silly stuff going on. And until next time, this is Spencer and other people dispensing information. Goodbye.
That's my impression of the song at the end.
Viddle, vaddle, viddle, vaddle.